G'day everyone, my name is Linda. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to have an introduction to freeform bead weaving. If you haven't heard of it before, it's probably something totally different than you've ever done before. There's no patterns involved in it, there's no rules, and most of all, there's no right or wrong way to do freeform bead weaving. Rather than try and explain it to you, I'll show you a few pieces and you'll get an idea of then what I'm talking about. So this is a pair of earrings, as you can see there. Various beads and whatnot through it. There's some mother of pearl, teardrop beads. Not sure what these ones are called, they're just something new I acquired. Various sizes of seed beads, along with some O beads, and just attached at the top with a ear wire. Another pair here. Again, some mother of pearl in there, some ceramic bead, a bead drop, and the centre bead there. Various sizes of seed beads, and again attached with an ear wire. And we have these ones. If I can find the other one here. These are a much simpler version, just a little heart lampwork bead with some chips on it, rose quartz chips. Oops, that's come off. Doesn't matter, we'll put that aside. I'll show you the other one. And that's attached with a wire guardian at the top. That also has a matching bracelet to go with it, with a toggle clasp, and another pair of earrings, which are the larger ones. With a little leaf charm on it, with the freshwater pearls, aquamarine, different seed beads, including some Picassos and some of the howlite heacher beads, attached to a wire wreath and onto an ear hook. And that pair has a bracelet that goes with it, attached with leather, and again with the little leaf charm on it, button closure. And that also has a necklace. Okay, keeping up with the leaf charm, the wire wreath, and including the leaves in up here up at the top, just to bring it all together. And with a leather closure and a toggle clasp. So that one is a full set. I also have a couple of other ones here to show you. This is one done with peyote with a button closure. This is my most recent one with a goldstone cabochon. You can see the purple flecks hopefully through the cabochon. And that has a heart button closure on the back. Another peyote with a toggle clasp. So this is just giving you an idea of what you can do. There's also a necklace. Should go that way. There we go. With the tassel at the bottom, little swallow charm, and this one includes silver accent beads through it, and finishes with just a gemstone bead closure. So that's what we're going to be learning. So if you're interested in learning freeform, then stay with me. I'll just clear this off and I'll get right back to you. Okay, so what we're going to be needing today, we're going to be making a pair of earrings. So I have an assortment of seed beads here, and they range in size from 11 up to a 8/0. And I have a little selection of gemstones. I may or may not use all of these. It just depends how the design comes along and what I think it looks like and what it needs. You're also going to need a pair of snippers, some fire line. I always use 8-pound smoke fire line. I use it for its durability. It's just my favourite thread to use. You can use any thread you like to use. I wouldn't go any smaller than a 6-pound, and I wouldn't use anything like Nemo or Nymo, however you pronounce it. It needs to be a sturdy thread for the strength, the durability, and to keep the thread nice and tight. Needle and thread. Needle size is, I use a 10 or a 12, and this particular one I have done probably 15, maybe 20 projects with this one, and it's still nice and straight. I don't very often break a needle. I've only ever broken maybe 2 in the whole time I've been beading, and that's well over 10 years now. A tape measure when you do a bracelet. We won't be needing that today. Okay, well that's all I can think of, so we'll get started. I've got my needle threaded up here. I've only got a small amount to make it easier on the video, so we'll get started. To cut some of these beads, I'll try and keep this all on camera for you. This is the first time I've done this, so it's sort of a little bit hard, sorry. Okay. Got my beads here, gemstones. Okay, my main gemstone is carnelians. That's what we're using. So I'm just going to thread on my stop bead, which I have here somewhere. There we go. Main thing is always to use a different colour stop bead to the rest of your work, which I suppose most of you know that. You don't need to leave a very long tail. So that's about the length of my tail there, which will be about 3 centimetres, which I guess is just over, I think it's an inch in imperial. So beads get stuck up my nails. Just going to pick up a few beads. Got 4 on there. Bring them down to the work. And I haven't made a design for this pair of earrings. I'm just making it up as we go along, so it's basically on the fly. I'm going to pick up I think maybe 3 of the carnelian tissue beads, and drop those down to meet up with the other seed beads. And the whole thing is just letting this piece talk to you like what it wants to be. I don't know how to describe it any better than that, but it's just looking at it and deciding what you want to do as you go along. Okay, pick up some more seed beads. Bring those down to the work. A few more. As I said, these beads range in size 11 up to a size 6. You can use any size you like, but I wouldn't use, I do occasionally use 15s, but very sparingly, because you can't pass through them enough times. And not all pieces you need to pass through all the time, but yeah, I think I'm liking that there. So I'm going to pass up through this green one here. And that's what it's all about. It's just deciding what you like the look of. You may have an idea in your head when you start of what the piece looks like. You may even draw a sketch, and 9 times out of 10 it never turns out the same. You'll add to it, you'll change the design as you're going along. But if you want to start off with a sketch, that's quite fine. I've done that before. Not very often, but I have done it. Okay, I'm just deciding now what I want to. If I want to go down that side. No, I'm just going to go back around. And I really hope I'm keeping this all on camera for you. So I'm going to go back up through that last bead there, or the one at the top. Turn my work over. And then I'm going to come down, and this is where we start the 3 bead netting. So I'm going to pick up 3 beads. It doesn't matter which ones you pick up, any size. And what I like to do is measure it up to see which bead to come out of. But in effect, what you're supposed to do is count back from where your thread is coming out. You count 3 beads and go through the 4th bead. So you can do that if you like, but it's all an adjustment as you go along. So if you were doing it that way, it would be 1, 2, 3, and up through this green one here. And then pick up 3 more beads. And count 1, 2, 3, 4 through the orange one. So you don't need to know many stitches with a freeform. It's basically a 3 bead netting, a modified 3 bead netting, and peyote. So if you can do those 3 stitches, you can do freeform. And by 3 bead netting, it doesn't always have to be 3 beads on your thread, on your needle rather. In later video I'll get to that, but with these earrings we're just doing the 3 bead netting. So that's 1, 2, 3 beads there, go through the 4th, but I can see that that is going to be way too short because it's got bigger beads in it. So I can either go through the green one here, or I can add more beads and go through the next one. So I'll show you what it looks like if I add more beads. So I've got 5 on there now, and I'm going to come through this reddish brownish coloured bead here. I think it's called peppercorn, that particular colour. Three more beads. just going to measure. That one will fit nicely into the orange one. It's just you don't want thread showing. So you either add beads or take beads away to adjust it. And always remembering to pull your work tight. You want to keep that thread nice and tight. Pick up 3 more. Slippy little suckers, aren't they, sometimes? Okay, now I'm going to pass back up through the carnelian beads and out through that bead at the top. I'm just looking at this now, deciding what I want to do here. Okay, I'm just going to go up through all of these beads except for the stop bead. Okay, take another look at my work here. Okay, now I'm going to take the stop bead off and tie a square knot. Square knot. Move the stop bead out of the way. Okay. Now I'm going to come back down through this side here, through that turquoise bead and through the green bead. I might go around one more time and then I'm going to add some other gemstones to it. So I'm picking up 3 beads. Sorry, I hope I'm keeping my work on the camera for you. Something I'm not used to. Now if I measure that, you can see that that orange bead is going to be the best one to come out of. So I've got a fly buzzing around here, I'm just trying to blow it away. Go away. Okay, 3 more beads. It's just the end of summer here for us. Well, actually we've just started into spring here in Australia. And live on a duck farm, so the flies are absolutely terrible. It's been even worse since all the rain we've had with all the flooding. Yeah, our sheds got absolutely flooded. The ducks were actually having a lovely time, but it's not actually good for them. They get all muddy and they can't be processed properly then. But that's meat birds we grow, so. Okay, 3 more, and I'm just measuring, and that's going to come out through this orange one. Here's a bit of trivia for you. I bet you didn't know that only female ducks quack. The boy ducks, male ducks do not quack. They make all different other noises, but they do not quack. So if you hear somebody saying if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's got to be a duck, they haven't got a clue what they're talking about, because it could be a male duck. It's still a duck, but it doesn't quack. Okay, I'm liking the look of this. I love these colours. They'll go so nice together. So I didn't mention the colours that I have here. Well, I suppose you can see. I've got a mixture of orange, peppercorn red, an actual red bead. I have green, turquoise, forgotten what these ones are called now, but they're like a copper colour. And if I didn't say orange, then I've got orange as well, which you can see. How you choose your palette is totally up to you. I just grab a whole lot of beads, put them together, see what I like. Sometimes there's colours that you wouldn't think would go nice together, and they actually do go nice together, so it's just a matter of using your own judgment. If you're interested in learning all about colours, how to do colours and that, you can ask me in the comments, and I'll, if I get enough interest in it, I'll do a video on putting colours together. It's just something I've always been able to do, but not everybody, I understand that not everybody has the same capability of doing that. So if you need help with that, as I said, if I get enough comments and enough people wanting to know about that, I'll do a video on choosing your colours. Alright, now I'm going to go back up through this bead here at the top, all the way up to the top. If you can't get all the way through, you do it in 2 goes, or a couple of goes, whatever it takes you to get there, which I don't seem to be able to get there. Hold on. They just don't always want to cooperate, these beads. Okay, I couldn't get all the way through. Never mind. It's always next time. Alright, that one doesn't want to cooperate at all. So what I'm going to do there, if you ever have that happen, just grab another bead and go through the next one. And remembering to pull tight. So I'm going to give that all a good tug now. You want all these beads to be nice and firm. Not very much play in that at all. Okay, now I'm going to, pardon me, bring in some of my gemstones beads here. I'm just going to move these ones out of the way. Just decide what I want to do here. Okay, I'm going to go with the green crystals. And I have a thing about 3s. That's just my personal thing. Excuse me. I like groupings of 3s. I just, it has to be uneven. It's got to be 3s or 5s. For me, and it's not a luck thing or anything like that. It's just what I like. Okay. And now I'm going to add in some of these other carnelian, it's sort of like a flying saucer shape, these are. Don't actually know what the cut is on them. start with 3 and see what I think. No, I'm going to go 5. Oh, some of these beads have such tiny holes in them. It's very hard to see them. 5. See what I mean? Now I can't get through that one there. That one's hole is way too small. That was that one. Okay, those 3 are going on nicely. No, you were the culprit. Okay, put you aside so I don't pick you up again. Oh, no, there's 2 of them. It's okay, I've got more here. There we go, 4. And 5. Yes, I like the look of that. Now at the bottom of that I'm just going to add 1 seed bead because it's a wider bead across than what, if I just went in, then you'd have a big gap at the end of it, so you can see what I mean there. Okay, just bring that bead down first so I can see where I'm going with it. Okay, it's going to fit into that orange one there nicely. I'm just deciding whether I want to do, yep, I'm going to do a couple more seed beads. So that's 3 more I've got there. Come out of this red one. Might have just enough thread here. I think I probably should have cut just a little bit more. Going through that orange one. And what I'm trying to do is line up here, right underneath these Heishi beads. Actually, I'll go back one. I'm going to add a drop at the bottom there. So I'm going to grab a bead, just one of the smaller ones, so that'd be your 11, one of your 11s. Oh, okay. I thought that was a silly me, I should have looked. I thought that was a briolet, but it's not, it's a through. So I'm going to go back through that bead again. That will bring it directly at the bottom. Still, I'm going to grab 2 beads through, yeah, and then just 1 bead at the bottom, go through that bit at the bottom though, otherwise your other bead, your carnelian bead will come off, or your focal bead will come off. Okay, and then I'm going to go, sorry that flies back up through these and through the Heishi beads. I'd like to do that in 2 goes, it wouldn't let me go through. Go up as far as you can go. Okay, that's looking nice to me. Now I'm going to add 2 of the bigger ones. And then some of the smaller ones. They don't have to be all the same colour, just the same size. This is going to be where we hook our ear wire on, a little loop. And a couple more than that. I want to make sure I have it balanced, so I'm just seeing where I should go with this. Yeah, that'll be fine. And I added a couple of bigger ones here to get so that equal up to the size of the crystal. But you can see what I mean by there's no rules and there's no right or wrong way of doing this. Just checking that's right. You see there, the ear hook. You are, and going back through now, I've gone through the crystals. This is all for reinforcement. Or if I can get through these carnelians, hopefully. Sorry, I'm just grabbing a pair of chain nose pliers. They always come in handy to help you get through smaller ones. So I didn't do it, but it's better if you check your beads the whole size. I actually did. I checked I could get through once, but I didn't check to get through twice. I'm not going to get through those twice. Oh, bummer. Alright. That's a bit embarrassing. Okay. So now I have to make up something I'm going to do here. Alright. I'm just going to pull that over tighter. Go through the outside beads of the second row that we put on. And that will help reinforce these carnelians here as well. If you run out of thread, of course, you can weave through or knot off, whichever way you want to do it. Because I'm going to run out of thread here, and I'm going to need to come back and reinforce the teardrop there. So I'm just going to go through until I've run out of thread, which I have now. So what I'm going to do is pause here. I'll thread another needle, burn off these threads. Yeah, I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, I'm back. Now I've threaded up my needle again, and I've come in over this side here. I'm going to go back through these beads here. I'm heading down towards the teardrop. Down through the orange one. Don't know if you can hear that fly buzzing around, but it's very annoying. You can have every window and every door screened. If there's a way for a fly to get in, it'll find its way in. At least the mozzies haven't been bad this year. I can't stand mozzies buzzing around my ears of a night when I'm trying to sleep. It's so annoying. Okay. Now I'm just going to weave back through. This is something you have to be very careful of. What I've just done here is get my thread caught, especially when you're using darker colour beads. Yeah, just keep checking your work all the time to make sure you don't get caught up like that, because otherwise when you finish you'll find you've got these little loops all over the place and you don't know where to cut because you don't know what it's holding. So just be very mindful of that. You don't want to have to pull a whole piece apart just because you've got a couple of loops there, and it's very hard to try and tie those in. So I'm glad that happened because it reminded me to tell you of what not to do. So just keeping an eye on your work all the time. I always like to do that, grab the thread and pull it up, which is normally what I do, but obviously I didn't do it before. So I've just made sure everything is nice and tight. And everything's reinforced. We can cut that thread off and burn it. I use a lighter and just tap it down so that the end of the thing goes into like a little ball shape, and then you won't see it. So all that's left to do is add an ear wire, which I have here. So when you're making the other earring, just basically follow the same pattern. If you want to do them reverse, which I will do, obviously this particular design is very easy because you just flip it over and you've got the same either way, it doesn't matter. But if you're doing something that needed to be reversed, then everything that you were doing, you would just do in reverse. Make sure I put this on the right way. Just use pliers to open that up a little bit. Close it back up again. And there you go, that's what they look like. And if you'd like to learn this EY, this is my design of EY here, where it's flattened on the end. You probably already know how to do it, but if you don't, if you'd like to know how to make that as well, it's in the copper. And it's been flattened here on the side, which gives it an artisan look. You can also let me know in the comments about that. So there we go. What did you think about that? You can let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'd really appreciate it. So everybody have a lovely, well, here it's afternoon. You have a lovely whatever time of the day it is, wherever you are, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. So bye everybody, thanks for joining me, see you later.